Hello, friends. How are you? How's things? How's life? I'm good. I'm stuck again. Um, you know, uh, I guess that's what I get for living in the middle of nowhere. Which, I mean, I don't. I don't live in the middle of nowhere, but I kind of do, depending on your definition of that. If you've guys seen the development, I showed you a picture of it yesterday. Actually, I live in a development. There's a quaint little community here. There's like 19 houses, 18 houses. We live in a kind of little community that's probably 60 or 70 houses total. One way into this community, one way out, kind of thing. The rest of the community is old construction. This is a new development, right? But I live in the middle of nowhere. I don't live in city limits, and I mean, even if I did, the city limits are 500 yards that way, but our city, quote city, most people would consider to be a very small country town. It's less than 20,000 people. I don't even think that qualifies as a city in Europe, right? Europeans would call it a village or something. But in America, the land is so sparse and spread out that this is a city. In fact, that 20,000, say 18,000 people, I think is about the last census here. We're the seventh largest city in West Virginia, if that tells you anything. And my state is huge. My state is massive, but there's just not a lot of people here. And so in some ways, I live in the middle of nowhere. Now, my city, 500 yards that way, has city streets, pay taxes, things get plowed, trash collection, all that stuff. But where I live, this is a private community, and I have city utilities, but I do not have, this is a private drive off of this. This is a county road, not a city road, a county road here. Ours is a private drive, so our homeowners association pays to have the street plowed. But that doesn't, up above us, like getting out of our little development, our little community here is all county roads, and the county does not treat the roads very well at all. And I had to go out today. I had to go to Morgantown for an appointment today. And without Malia driving me in her car, I wouldn't have made it. Like she has a 4-wheel drive, and my car, there's no way, When you get out of here, meaning this little area that I'm in, this little bubble that I'm in, you're on main roads that are very well treated, state roads, where the state is treating those roads, the highways, all that stuff, fine. It's sloppy and gross and maybe a little sketchy in a few places because of construction, but for the most part, the interstate was perfectly fine. Morgantown was fine. It's just here. The main thoroughfares are clear, but these side roads, these county roads, these are not state roads, these are county roads, are just terrible. I mean, terrible. And this is kind of one of the costs of living in a place like this. I don't know when that road will get fixed. The last time it snowed heavy, it was 3 days before they came and plowed that, and then it was fine. It's just a thick bed of ice, and the way that the road that I'm showing you now, the way this all sits is there's a hill that blocks the sun 100% of the time, so that road never sees sunlight and just stays covered and gross. And it's one of the costs of living kind of rural. Even though I'm not rural, like I said, it takes me 500 yards to the city limits, which when I say the city, that's technically like those people pay city taxes and they have city utilities and it's their city streets, so they're treated by the city. But the quote city is a few more miles in that direction. This is just like suburb town type stuff. Over here, we're on our own. There's no street lights out here. There's nothing. There's no police presence unless we call the counties. Whatever. Not that we need it. This is that kind of rural community where I know my neighbors, and I've never had an issue with break-ins, or I've never had an issue with kind of anything out here, other than the neighbor over here who fell apart. It's just a quaint little area. And part of the price of that is you get treated like a quaint little area. When the power goes out here, the power company's not going to be super responsive. If there's a big storm that comes through and the power goes out in a bunch of places, we're not getting turned on first. We're just a tiny little community. Nobody, we're going to be one of the last circuits to get turned back on because we don't feed anything else. We're just kind of at the end of the line. And if you're going to move to nowhere, you got to kind of think about these things, because I think a lot of people don't. A lot of people have this dream of living out and don't really think about what that means. There are costs beyond, the price of keeping up your property and your land or whatever. There are costs that are a little bit more personal. Trash. It took 2 weeks for our trash to get picked up because the trash truck couldn't get here. It just simply couldn't make it out here. That's a thing to think about. So, and here, I think I mentioned the other day or last week when it snowed that the vast majority of vehicles sold here are four-wheel drive, and this is why. Like, lots of people, there aren't a lot, there are a large majority of people living in the not well-treated areas. And if you live in town, like where my parents live and stuff, it seems like everything's fine because they've done a good job taking care of the roads. But as soon as you get away from that, it's a mess. So we made it. We're safe. I can't get my kid home, but I think her mom has a four-wheel drive now, and she's going to try to get over here and get her. So we'll see if that happens. I don't know. Yeah, just thought I'd share. I know you guys like seeing stuff from this area and hearing about life in this area. It's crazy cold today. Like I think it's supposed to hit 12 degrees Fahrenheit, which is like negative 10 Celsius or something. I don't know. Negative 5 Celsius. I don't know what it is. Negative 15 Celsius. I have no idea. It's something, but 12 degrees is well below freezing, and it's been it's not great. Thank you for checking this video out and sticking with it. Appreciate you. Please leave a comment. Ask me some questions and stuff for the week. Let's find something to talk about together. Please like it if you haven't. If you're new here, please subscribe. I appreciate you. I'll see you again tomorrow. Today's 1,000 plus little things happy, successful people do differently. We are learning 12 things to know before letting go. Number 10. You can make decisions or you can make excuses. Don't let what you can't do stop you from what you can. Do what you can with what you have right now. Stop overthinking and start doing. God, I need somebody to yell that at me every day. Like, that's a piece of advice that could carry you so many places in life. And for me personally, it's hard to remember.